So today I'm going to be starting off in Segovia. I've only got a short way to go up to the Port of Santander, but of course I'm going to go the slightly longer route. Let's ride!
Good morning, it is day 17. We are on the outskirts of Segovia. It's 9:45 in the morning, it is 1 degree Celsius. It has not snowed as per the forecast last night, but it could. It is ridiculously cold. My bags are half empty because I am wearing everything that I could wear. I look like the bloody Michelin Man, even more so than normal. Before you say it, cheeky sods. We don't need to be in Santander until 5 for our evening ferry at 6, which is going to be delayed. It's going slower, so it's not going to get into Portsmouth until 11 PM on Sunday night. It was going to be 8 PM, which just means that I won't be home until the early hours. But we've got a few hours to waste this morning. It's too cold and slippy to go for a wiggly ride, and it's a bit windy. So we're going to whiz down into Segovia, go and see said aqueduct and whatever else, and then possibly pop into a decathlon or something, because one of the guys has lost his winter gloves, so his hands are freezing today, and another one's lost his waterproofs. That happened on the way down into Morocco. He just took his jacket off to ask the police some directions, and away it went. But then again, if it doesn't actually come down from the skies, it should be okay. But after we've been into Segovia, we will probably just get onto this motorway up to Valladolid and then straight to Santander. Oh my god, even with the heated gear on, grips, seats, gloves, jacket, 3 jackets on and a hoodie, I can't bloody move my neck. But even with all this, it's still Baltic, and you can see little bits of whitey icy on the road. Where's that grit? I did see the gritters out last night. But we're all in good spirits. The hotel we stayed at last night was lovely, brilliant shower, really warm, but very thin walls. I seem to always get the room where the neighbours are a couple that are enjoying themselves in the evening. So there's me, grumpy old fart, wanting to go to bed, and all I could hear was banging. Let everyone enjoy themselves. You only live once. Right, might as well switch this off for a bit. Oh, there be the viaduct, aqueduct. Circular Park. We're in Segovia. We've driven right into a shopping precinct.
You wait till I hit you with all the vain jokes when I get in.
I know. And because we were following the sat nav through all the no entry signs, because somebody has lost his waterproofs. So he's in Decathlon getting an XXXXXXL waterproof, and then we'll head straight down to Santander. And hopefully we won't get in too much trouble. It's a lovely place, this. It's got a cathedral and stuff, but haven't managed to see any of it. Boo. Next time. The weather's holding up. It's not raining, it's still stupidly cold. But we're now heading out of Segovia to Baladidad. On the motorway, and then from there up to Santander. But oh my goodness, it is so blustery. If I move my head, my helmet gets pushed away, and you are fighting with the wind. I couldn't be doing that motorway. So boring. So I've reset Kalimoto for a non-motorway route. And just go town to town. I've still got several hours left. Gone on the motorway. They want to get to Santander, find somewhere, have some lunch. It's great. Just didn't bother with the motorway. I could hook back on if I wanted to. Got much better. Good straight. Right, well, I went through the mountains. It was very scenic, incredibly cold, a little bit slippery. I've just stopped in a town about 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers outside of Santander to pick up some munchies for the boat and a few bits and bobs to bring home from the supermarket. Had a bit of lunch. And now I'm just less than half an hour, 20 minutes from the port. The guys are already in Santander. They stopped there to have lunch and then they're heading to the port. The rain has stopped, which is good. I happened to be at the supermarket when it rained, which was good planning. And that's it. And one of my heated gloves isn't working. Rather annoying. I have one warm hand. Hello. And one cold hand. Hello. There you are. Only 20 minutes and these are old anyway. But I love them. I'll fix it if I can. Get a loose bit of wiring somewhere. Right, about to run out of battery, so that's me signing off from Spain. I won't do any uploads until I get home to England, where the weather is worse than this. La vida España.
11 o'clock UK time, 12 o'clock Spain time. That was a really, really rough night. We're going around the top of Brest at the moment, which is over there. It was rather hilarious. We got on board, and as soon as we left the port, we left the harbour wall, and a massive wave or something hit the ship, and everyone went flying. All the drinks went flying, food went flying, tables and chairs went flying, people went flying. We had to have first aiders out, and people had injured themselves. So very rough crossing last night. So it was something sandwich to eat and try and just sleep, just bunker down. They closed the bar because there was just drinks flying everywhere. It was very dramatic. Several injuries. And one poor old lady in a wheelchair went flying out of a wheelchair. Ended up hitting a table and then hitting a load of glass that had smashed on the floor. It was a riot. But hey ho. Now we've got another 10 or 11 hours. 10 hours I think to get to Portsmouth. So it's it's a bit foggy over there. Yeah. Very boring. You might ride next time.
Hello! Well, we're back in Blighty. The ferry landed at supposedly 9:30, it was more like 10 o'clock. And it was actually 10 o'clock by the time we disembarked. They had a problem with the door trying to open it or get the ramp down. And there were a lot of cross and tired people waiting with their vehicles, not knowing what was going on. And passport control was relatively harmless. They didn't let the bikes through first, and we all jammed in the middle. But hilariously, Martin decided to try and waddle his way to the front of the queue of bikes, out of which he was then stuck behind the caravan, and we all went around the other side and got through customs before him, but a bit of a chuckle. But amusingly, I met a guy on a bike from Morocco who was coming back home to Oxford, but he goes to Dakar every year to do the rally thing, whatever they do in Dakar, messing around with the sand on motorbikes. Although he was on a big new GS 1200. Anyway, this weather is super poo. Oh, shouldn't do that. Super poo. Typical English. Annoyingly, because I've had to go through customs, they wanted you to take your helmet off. Even though I've got a front flip helmet, it was still to take your helmet off, which meant that the visor on the inside got wet. So now I have several droplets that were refusing to move because they're on the inside. There you go. So, that was the end of my 18-day adventure to Morocco. It has been a blast. Bear in mind that I stuck this on Facebook in November on a couple of groups saying, hey, I'm planning to do this. If you want to join me, here's my itinerary, here's my cost estimates, book your own tickets. And a few people got in contact, and a few of them got back and said, yes, we're booking it. So bar Mel, who I briefly met for a McDonald's breakfast in Reading, halfway between South Wales and Sussex, just before Christmas, outside of him, the other three, Tim, Martin and Paul, I'd never met. We had had just some chats over text and messenger, and that was it. The first time that I actually met everyone properly was at the Beefeater in Portsmouth a couple of hours before our ferry. So, a bit crazy. You never know. You could end up with some right dickheads in a group. But thankfully, everyone wasn't that bad. Of course, everyone's got their quirks and their oddities, but we're all adults, we're all grown-ups, so you take as much as you can give. You give as much as you can take, you know what I mean. And anyway, after 18 days, we don't have to see any of them again. Ha ha ha! But I have a horrible feeling I may. They're a good bunch, mostly a good bunch. And it was good going with such a mixed mash of experience. You know, people from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different socio-economic parts of life, different ages, and such like. It was a real mismatch. And it made for an interesting couple of weeks. I'm sure if I'd gone on my own, it would have been different. Firstly, I would not have attempted that unmade road on my own. Categorically, zero, no chance. The other bits of on-road, off-road, I would have, but definitely not the crazy off-road part. Well, where the road didn't exist on Saturday. So, in one sense, in that sense, yeah, going with people was really good. On the flip side, although we were all independent, of course you have that social requirement to have a drink every evening, etc. And I know a couple of us, me included, aren't heavy drinkers, and a couple of them do like a drink. So I have not drunk this much beer in 2 weeks than I would in a couple of months, I reckon. Not a bad thing. And then the other thing is, like, because you've got this mix and mash, if I want to stop and see some ancient ruins or something, whilst we all went with the understanding that we're all going independently, you still feel obliged to go with the status quo. Within reason. So yes, if I planned this again, I would. But then on the flip side, going with people meant that you had stuff to do in the evening. There were a couple of evenings which were, golly, if you were on your own, it would be boring. You'd be on your own in a hotel room or a bar. There was only so much watching the world go by that you can do on your own. But then I might have been able to get all my YouTube uploads done as well at the same time. But yeah, so I'm quite behind on that. But hopefully, by the time you're hearing this, this is the last episode of this trip. So yeah, doing it again. If, maybe when, I do this again, I would potentially cut down on the mileage. Bloody hell, big puzzle. Why in this country, when it rains all the fucking time, can't you sort out the drainage? It's not like you don't know it rains. Honestly, build a brand new road, understand that you've got to put the water somewhere. Idiots. Right, sorry, rent over. What was I saying? I did it again. I think I cut down on the mileage a bit and go for a little bit more touristiness. Going to Marrakesh, having a whole day in Marrakesh was a laugh, especially for those who hadn't been to Marrakesh before. For me, it was same shit, different price. And I know one of the guys at least would have wanted to, would have liked to do a bit more of the tourist side of things. A couple of the places we stopped at, like Rabat for instance, on our first night, it was a real slog getting down to Rabat. Lovely slog, don't get me wrong, really enjoyable ride. And when you're going to Morocco for a riding holiday, that was spot on. But we stayed in Rabat, we got into Rabat in the dark, and we left straight after breakfast in the morning, so we didn't really see Rabat. It was just a stop off. Bar the nice hotel where we had dinner at, we didn't go out. So in a sense it's the fucking everything's flooded. Seriously, Sussex Council, sort your drains out. You know it rains. Yeah, so it'd be nice to go to spend a day in Rabat or something. I think replanning would be maybe a morning of a town and an afternoon of riding, or vice versa. What else? Google Maps. What a load of baloney. If Google Maps says that it will take 3 hours, it lies! Yes, of course Google Maps is saying it will take 3 hours if you go non-stop at the speed limit. But if you go non-stop at the speed limit, officer, it still will take 4 hours. Because inevitably, it doesn't account for police stops or checks at every town where you've got to slam on the brakes and do 10 miles an hour. It doesn't account for the twisty windy bends which you have to brake for. And it definitely doesn't count for listless coffee stops and P-brakes. So the 3 hour ride time would inevitably turn into about 5, 6 if you actually stop for lunch. So some of the 6 hour days did turn into 8 hour days, and we didn't stop for lunch. It was 8 hour days with 3 or 4 coffee breaks. Spain. So, first time that I properly lived in Spain. I think it's the first time that I've ever lived in Spain, actually. I think. There's a lot to see there. There's a lot to see there. I should have put in more effort into doing the touristing in Spain. I did go down through Ronda and saw Ronda Bridge and saw the aqueduct of Segovia, but it was literally a 5-minute visit at each. So, yeah, pardon my language, but you blame Sussex, West Sussex Road and then planning department for the idiots that can't work out surface water management on roads. It's not rocket science. If you build a hard flat surface, you've got to have somewhere for the water to run on. Oh, but it's not a problem for us, we're in cars. Pricks. Shouldn't be paying any road tax if that's the case. Rant, rant, rant. Yes, and it's because I'm cold and wet and it's windy. I'm back in stupid England, which is rainy and horrible. God, even the customs people didn't say hello. No one was smiling. Went through customs in Morocco and in Spain, and it's all, hi, how you doing? Smiles, the policeman nods to you when you're going through checkpoints mostly. But here it's all just, oh, I'm doing my job. Enough of me now. When I get back, I'm going to work out, costs, money, that was the other thing. My initial estimate for this trip was just shy of £3,000. That included approximately £700 for the ferry ticket, booked on a early bird saver rate. Hotels, Booking.com and Hotels.com and the other one. And £50 per day in fuel as an estimate, and £50 per day in food and sustenance. Plus £100 for the insurance for the month, 2 weeks, whatever it was. 10 days, plus 25 euros for SIM card. So that was my overall, that's going to be the maximum. We have come well under budget. Everyone has got cash left over. Fuel wise, we spent really no more than £40 a day in fuel, if that, 2 fill-ups a day. Food wise, when we were in Morocco, excluding a night out to an Irish bar, which I'm never doing that again in a hurry, even that was cheap anyway, but food wise we were spending nothing more than £20 a day. Breakfasts were always included, virtually all the time, apart from in Spain. Dinners were anywhere between 100 and a maximum of 200 dirham, which is £18, between £8 and £18. And even going out for a beer in Morocco was no more than £4. Even maybe it was £5 at one place in Chefchaouen, but that was it. So food and drink wise, but another big fucking bottle. Food and drink wise, I think, and all the coffee stops, the listless stops, I think that came to, I would hazard a guess at about £30 a day. So I will work out the actual costs and stick them on the video in a bit, because I know some people are interested in that. As I say, if you can, do it. And obviously, to get your can, number one, have a motorbike. Number two, have a working motorbike that doesn't break down all the time. Number three, motorbike license. Okay. Full license, no L plates, sods. Let's go back to number one, motorbike. So on the boat, we met some other people who had been to Morocco and some who had been as far as Senegal. Most Africa Twin, BMW GS's, a Yamaha Tenere, 2 up, golly that was hard work, hard seats on those. A few Tigers, mostly Explorers, the off-road version, as well as a CBR 650, some ninja looking sports bike Kawasaki, both of whom had, keep your eyes picking, both of whom had either been round Spain or Morocco. So all you need to do is work out your bike, work out what your maximum mileage per day would be, divide that, take off about 30% of that, because you don't want to be maxing out every day, and then plan your route. And then of course it falls down to money, budget. You can work out the cost, think about how much you need to save each month, each week, how you can cut costs. I won't deny it, the hotels that we stayed in were nice. We were in 3 and 4 star hotels because the criteria was for private or guarded parking. Now that criteria, now that I've been there, I wouldn't be too fussed about parking my bike in public in Morocco. Spain is a different matter, but in Morocco, except for Marrakesh, because that is just a hellhole of a cesspit of destitution. It's a bit harsh actually, but yeah, it's a bit of a who knows what goes on in Marrakesh sort of thing. But geez, I think it's quick. But yeah, all the other places, all the other towns, especially the ones that have parking outside, like Rabat, which should pay for parking, that's the same as anything. Marrakesh, because we were in the Medina, I don't know what out in videos in the city would be like, in the modern city. But yeah, Spain, different matter. Marbella, ultimately, you could nick a bike like this, and it could be in any other parts of the EU by the morning. In Greece, for instance, or Hungary, where it could be replated and resold, and it's gone. And while insurance is a great thing, being stranded in a foreign country without a bike when that bike is attached to a passport for export reasons is not something that I want to try and happen. Right, enough to chatter. I'm halfway home-ish, maybe. You know, going to stack it in a pub. With our stupid planning system, or stupid planners. Actually, I bet it falls down to an individual. Dear Mr. Individual Road Planner person who sorts out the drainage, you're a twat. Sort your plumbing out. Get a different job.